Hey YouTube world, we've got another exciting unboxing today, or unbagging today, from Bvlgari. And this bag has been on my radar on and off for a number of years. I don't really make wish lists because I feel like I gotta check everything off if I do make a wish list, but every so often I randomly browse to see what available options are out there. And you know, with this bag, once you see it, you know there are literally a million combinations between hardware, leather, snakeskin, or whatever. So it's really hard to find the perfect one. So let's just get right into it. A couple thoughts before I show you the bag. I feel like jewelry brands, when they make handbags, it's not very popular, nor does it hold its value. And it's just not something everybody gravitate towards. And I think that is a miss for quote unquote the gem pop, because they always gravitate towards Louis Vuitton, Gucci, or Dior. And yet we all clamor over the handbags from these big luxury brands. And then we also gravitate towards their jewelry. But then with Bvlgari and Cartier, which I brought out my Cartier bag that I really like, even though it's a very fancy bag, I don't use it very often. People don't really buy Cartier bags. It's not popular. It's not something that is the new buzz when a new release comes out. Every now and then you'll see them pop up here and there on YouTube or social media, but it's never the focal point. In any case, with this particular bag, I forget when it came out, but this Serpenti bag that I got is now considered a classic with, or if you want to call it iconic, with Bvlgari. This particular one is the shoulder version. I know there's like a day to night, there's also a mini one, there's a top handle, so there's plenty of different variations, but I did choose the shoulder version because I feel like this is a very fancy bag. It's kind of a statement bag, so I don't really see myself wearing it as a crossbody, so that's why I was okay. Because, you know, normally I'll be like, yes, I want the crossbody version, but for this one, just because it's like a evening bag or special event, wedding bag, whatever it is, it's just something that I feel like shoulder bag is completely okay, and that particular limitation. Now you can see the camera is not picking. I feel like this is kind of a chameleon color right now. It seems like it's just like a Barbie paint, more coral, if you say. It's hard to explain. Again, I think Bvlgari, they do colors incredibly well, even though they're not like the most popular or even neutral color that most people would find acceptable. They like the whole flair, of course, the Italians, right? They want the flair, they want the eye-popping kind of vibe to their products, in my opinion. The hardware is a champagne gold, and it is in their classic kind of serpenti chain. I'm probably not explaining my jewelry terminology correctly. And of course, you can see the serpenti head right there with the malachite eyes. Just gorgeous and stunning. And you're probably shocked because I am very classics, very neutral. I do like a little bit of color, but this is, of course, you know, I like pink too, but this is not something you would have probably expected that I wanted to add to my collection. And then on the back, there are no pockets, but then you can also see the little square shape, and then of course the Bvlgari on the back. So I love how there aren't any logos in the front. Kind of, yes, people are going to turn their heads and take a look at this bag. Again, that's my thoughts, but they're not going to be like, oh, that's a Bvlgari bag, or, you know, the whole monogram thing, right? Where, oh yeah, that's a Louis Vuitton bag. So you can either double it up like this, or if you want to wear it as a longer shoulder, on the bottom of the bag, you will see that it is an accordion style. So there are two different compartments. Now, what I love about the interior is that this closure, the clasp, I want to say, is very true to their, you know, rings. You know, again, I don't know all of the names, but I'll pop a photo there, but it's like the top of that ring, and it says Bvlgari all around. And of course, you've got the pinhole kind of closure, which is incredibly easy to kind of close the bag, the flap itself. You don't have to play target practice. What's so special about this bag is that you can see how it kind of stops the chain from pulling through the holes here. Every little detail and the hardware is just phenomenal and beautiful. So taking all of the accessories out in a second here, but just to kind of give you more of a tour and show and tell of the bag. Two compartments, like I said, accordion style. and there is a zip compartment in the middle where you can kind of keep your items more secure. And then you can see, instead of a regular zipper pull, they put another serpenti head on there, which again, you've got the green eyes and it just matches the front of the bag. You've got another zip compartment on the back and a pocket on the interior side of the middle compartment, and then another slip pocket. So you've got plenty of organization in this particular bag. Now, I'm sure a lot of you would be like, well, I wish it was just one open compartment as opposed to having it split into two. I don't really mind that. Again, I see this bag as an evening bag, so I won't be carrying a whole lot of stuff with me. I usually don't anyways. The bag itself did come with a raincoat, which I find fantastic. Again, that is the luxurious experience that you are expecting when you are purchasing from high-end designer brands like this one. It also came with one of these matching mirrors, which the person who owned it before didn't even take any of the stickers off, including the clasp right here. There's still a sticker on there, and it just comes with its paperwork along with its original certificate. So what I found hilarious about this is I did purchase this pre-loved, and this was stamped. This is a bag from 2016. He wrote down the serial codes on there as well. And what's really funny is that this bag is from Taiwan. So they stamped the Bvlgari Taipei on there. So the origins, so to speak, of the first owner is in Taiwan, and it traveled through many different countries before it got to my hands here in the United States. Again, I just find that amusing because originally I am from Taiwan as well. So it kind of made full circle and kind of meant to be, right? Like one Taiwanese owner to another. I don't know if this is like a one owner bag or anything, but they kept this bag in pristine condition. So I'm excited to start using this, obviously to fancier events. Not that I go to a whole lot of them, but this bag to me is kind of like a work of art. And if I were to go out to a date night, yeah, I would totally rock this. Would I take this to the grocery store? Probably not. Obviously, this handle right here or the strap, normally I don't like pure metal straps. I like to have some sort of leather attachment right there so it sits more comfortably on my shoulder. But again, a fancy bag that you're not going to be wearing from day to night, completely okay with that, so that you can get the full-blown effect of the champagne hardware straps right here. I want to say this is my first Bvlgari piece, and I would love to add all of the Viper and all of the Serpenti jewelry to my collection. I know a lot of YouTubers or social media has showcased, and the more I look at it, it's like, ugh, I really, really want it. So if you want a bag that is incredibly special, I would highly recommend taking a look at the Serpenti line here. And there are just so many different combinations. I think the one I had my eye on for quite a while was real python, and it was like a rainbow color. However, I was just like, yeah, that's probably going to be a museum piece on my closet shelf that I would never probably wear it just because it's just such a crazy color. But it was just beautiful. And I think I remember stopping by the Bvlgari in Chicago and asked if they had it, but they're like, unfortunately, that particular model is a limited edition and it has since then been completely sold out. So I was a little bummed about that. However, I don't know if I would pay with real python. It's probably upwards of like $6,000 or $7,000. And of course, exotic skin is just incredibly hard to take care of. So for this one, majority of what you see on the pre-loved market are usually the bright green, which is kind of like their iconic color, which I did try on when I visited Bvlgari in Vegas. And my boyfriend's like, yeah, you should just get it. I'm like, absolutely not for full price. Maybe for the jewelry, but not when it comes to handbags, because you can find fantastic pieces on Fashion File. They're real, where it's 50% off, 60% off. So if you want something a little bit more special, if you're kind of tired of the big luxury brands and all of their designs, this could be a really good alternative at a fraction of the cost if you really think about it when you look at it pre-loved. Additionally, the new Serpenti bags that they came out with, I think is beautiful. They also came out with this more bowler shaped bag. Again, I forget the name, but the dome shaped bag, I thought that was kind of special. Now, would I pay $4,000 for it? Probably not, but they're coming up with really beautiful designs that I think we should at least appreciate and take a second to look at. Just like Cartier, right? Again, I brought this out just because I feel like they're kind of in the same level when it comes to their jewelry, and that's what they're known for, or watches, right? Whereas their handbags are kind of just the redheaded stepchild sometimes, if you think about it. And looking at the craftsmanship, I think the leather, the stitching, and how the bag is constructed along with the glazing, I think their work is fantastic, right? However, I don't know how they wear compared to your, Hermes or whatnot. I also think that whoever the company that they use, or the subcontractors, whoever artisans that work on these bags, because they're not as in high demand, they don't need to be like Louis Vuitton and just keep cranking out bags and have a certain quota. They don't sell a whole lot of these. So logic tells me, again, I can't confirm this, but logic tells me that they can take their time, check for quality control, and of course design new special bags. And just the sales process or the production process is it's going to be like the cycle is going to be much longer than your typical kind of like fast fashion when it comes to Louis Vuitton and having micro seasons, or Chanel having multiple seasons, right? Coming out with new iterations and new bags, and they're just cranking it out. They can honestly kind of go back to what we were used to when it comes to luxury handbags. And to finish that thought, like maybe there aren't enough reviews out there, or just, people highlighting Bvlgari bags or Cartier bags. I don't think I've seen a single review where they opened the bag, brand new or whatever, and said, oh my God, there's a defect, or there is something wrong with the bag. So again, we know, for me, at least my experience, Cartier, haven't had to deal with Bvlgari, but I feel like the jewelry brands, their customer service is just so much better than your typical big luxury brands like Gucci or Louis Vuitton. Again, I'm sure experiences differ from location to location and person to person, but in general, I think jewelry brands are much better when it comes to customer service. So, but again, if you have nothing wrong with your bags in the first place, you wouldn't have to deal with customer service. One last thing, the only thing I can think of that has a problem or more prone to the wear and tear of this bag is that I did see a lot of secondhand pieces where the malachite or just the serpentine eyes have been chipped off or just disappeared. I don't know, but that also contributes to, the wear and tear and how you use this particular bag. So I'll let you know. Obviously, again, this is not something I would wear on a daily basis, so I don't foresee that happening anytime soon. Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. If you are new here, glad you found me, drop me a comment. Let me know you're new so I can welcome you to my channel. If you are returning, glad you're here. Did you like this bag? Drop me a comment. You know what to do on a weekly basis, as I rely on you to have a conversation with me about bags, because my boyfriend does not want to hear about it. In any case, life is hard. I want to help you save time and money so that you can somehow adult easier and hopefully less than retail. I'll see y'all next time.